We all need money every day, and it's actually an indispensable aspect of our life because you can actually, transfer your wealth from one generation to another. Money is actually a spirit and it is also very dynamic and it is not a taboo. But for you to actually attain that level of financial independence and financial freedom, you need to be able to increase your money and build generational wealth. When you are very resilient, when you are pragmatic, you are focused, you are determined, you can build that wealth over time. And people got time returns and money if you actually want to build a generational wealth. Your mindset needs to be developed. You must have that conceptual belief that you are going to be wealthy, that I, David Omo, is going to be wealthy. Do you look into the mirror every day and say, I am a champion, I am going to make it, I am going to be wealthy, I am going to be rich, I am going to make it in life, I'm going to be successful. We all need money every day, and we need money for different purposes, for transaction, for buying one thing or the other, for making payments, and the rest of them. So money is actually an indispensable aspect of our life. We cannot do without money. However, despite the fact that we know that we cannot actually do without money, a lot of us do not even understand that we can actually increase or grow our wealth through this money. You see, we all spend money every day, but we never thought about how we can actually increase and build our wealth through generational wealth through the use of money. So, despite the fact that we're using money, we need to develop that mindset. We need to have that belief or that concept or conceptual ideology or conceptual dimensional ideology that we can actually increase our money. And when you actually increase your money, there's a great advantage in this sense because you can actually, transfer your wealth from one generation to another. So money is indispensable and we all need money. And it's also important that while we are using this money, we should also be able to increase our money and make that money or that wealth to be transferred from one generation to another. You see, money can actually be turned into a true cash flow. Money is actually a spirit and it is also very dynamic and it is not a taboo and it is not evil like some people always make us to understand. So we all need money, and for that reason we should be able to turn that money into a constant cash flow by creating wealth for ourselves. We can live a life without worries or without having that that bad mind or bad feelings that we need money and there's no money to spend or no money to actually use in our daily transactions. We can actually get to that level where we can be free. We can have what we call financial independence. We can have what we call financial freedom. But for you to actually attain that level of financial independence and financial freedom, you need to be able to increase your money and build generational wealth. In fact, man is egocentric, but it will be very good for you to actually leave a legacy for your children, and your children can also leave a legacy for their children, thereby becoming a generational wealth. Most of you will say, how is this possible? It's actually possible when you are very resilient, when you are pragmatic, you are focused, you are determined, you can build that wealth over time. And don't forget that building wealth is actually a decade of sacrifice. You can start today, it's not too late, irrespective of your age. And we need what we call time returns and money if we actually want to build a generational wealth. Time, return, and what? And money. The time you put into it, the money you are willing to put into it, and the income or what you are going to generate as a compound interest at the end of the day will determine how far you are going to go. So join me as I discuss what I call how to build a generational wealth. Number one thing on how to actually build a generational wealth is what I call developing your mindset. You see, your mindset needs to be developed. A lot of us, we have a negative mindset, we have a parochial mindset, we have a kind of a mindset that is not a growing mindset but a stagnant mindset. We need to develop that positive mindset, and that is why it is very important for you today that if you want to build up wealth or you want to develop what we call generational wealth and becoming a generational legacy, then your mindset needs to be developed. So you must be wealthy in your mindset for you to be able to develop what we call generational wealth. Your mindset must be a wealthy mindset before you can even think of how to start investing your money. So once your mindset has put you in a position that you are actually wealthy, then you can start start investing your money. So to have a wealthy mindset, there are some certain things I will quickly talk about that you need to do to develop this wealthy mindset. Number one, you must have that conceptual belief that you are going to be wealthy. That is, I can be wealthy. Most of us don't even tell ourselves this, this words every morning that I am going to be wealthy. I, David Oni, is going to be wealthy. Do you tell yourself that can be, words in the morning, encouraging words or words that can actually edify or build you up at the end of the day? Do you look into the mirror every day and say, I am a champion, I am going to make it, I am going to be wealthy, I am going to be rich, I am going to make it in life, I'm going to be successful? Do you tell yourself that? Because when you do that, you are developing what we call a positive mindset. You are building your mindset to be wealthy in life. And the way you are saying it to yourself, it can become actually a reality. So you must tell yourself or believe in yourself that you are going to be wealthy. Then another thing you need to realize that number two is that you need to understand that money is actually a tool. It's actually a tool. And because money is actually a tool, it is not a taboo. Some people will tell you that the love of money is the root of all evil. Of course, the love of money is actually the root of all evil, but we all need money in our life because there is no day in your life that you don't use money. So you need money. And for that reason, money is actually a tool. And as a tool, it must be used positively. And that is why if you want to develop or grow or build a generational mindset, you need four cardinal things in your life. What I call it the four pillars of wealth. Number one is that you need what I call physical fitness, you need what I call mental fitness, you need what I call spiritual fitness, and you need what I call financial fitness. Once you are good in these four areas, you are good to go in life: physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. If all these four factors are balanced in your life, then I can best assure you that you are going to be wealthy in their life. They need to understand one thing, that money, which is the third one, that money is actually abundant everywhere. There is money all over the world. Some people tell you that money is scarce. Money is not scarce. If you should be able to attract money to yourself, and how do you attract money to yourself? Through your quality, what you are actually offering to the society, for the services you are rendering to the society. And that is why, for you to be able to attract money to yourself, you must understand that there are some certain things that society actually needs, and you can actually provide the solutions to that thing. When you do that, people will pay for your service, and by so doing, you are going to be attracting money to yourself. So you can also take a chunk of money that is available in the world to yourself. Do you get it now? Because money is actually abundant everywhere. And for you to be able to achieve this, you must create what we call a value. You need to create what we call a value. And creating value simply means that people are actually looking for your services because you are rendering solutions to the society. That's another. Number four, you should also realize that it is your duty to be wealthy. It is my duty to be wealthy. It is also your duty to be wealthy. You must not allow forward for anything else because you need to be wealthy in life. So once you have that belief, once you have that concept, once you have that mindset that it is actually your belief, it's actually your right, your duty to be wealthy, you can actually be wealthy in life because you are actually putting a responsibility on yourself that you cannot accept a failure in life, because those that have set failures are failure themselves. Do you understand now? Those that actually have set failures are failure themselves. But when you make a mistake, what do? You correct yourself, you learn from your mistake, and you move on with life. Another thing on how to actually build generational wealth is that you need to understand the rules of money. You need to understand the rules of money. You see, money has certain rules, and these rules, once you understand these rules, you are good to go. I could remember some time ago, or those years back, I've lived in the world of ignoramuseness, in the world of gullibility, in the world of not knowing anything. But today, I am very grateful to God that I have an idea and understanding on the rules of the money. And that's why I want to impart this knowledge to everybody all over the world, or those that can actually watch this video, that you can actually be rich in life. You see, becoming rich does not entail that you can be rich within the sudden, or within the twinkling of an eye, or within the blinking of an eye. It doesn't work like that. It's actually a decade of a sacrifice. Becoming wealthy is something that you can actually build. So if somebody is telling you that you can be wealthy today, just now, that person is lying to you. So what are the rules of money? You need to understand these rules of money. Number one rule is that money flows to investors. Money flows to investors. Are you an investor? Do you invest money? Do you grow money? Do you, make your money to work for you? Or you just keep your money in the bank account, where the money is what is creating a dust in the bank, and the banks are making profit at your expense, and they are giving you nothing at the end of the year. You need to put that money into operation. So one of the ways through which you can actually build this wealth is that money can actually flow to you when you invest your money. But if you don't invest the money cannot flow into you, because money is what is actually spirit, and it likes to be put into work. But when you don't put that money into work, you cannot generate a multiplier effect or a compounded effect. And that's why money, number one rule of money is that money flows to investors. Then number two is that inflation brings about more money to the investors. You see, inflation, sometimes people are clamoring all over the world now that things are very expensive, things are very hard, you understand. But people that are actually investing money, it is not hard for them. Do you know why? Because inflation creates avenue to make more money. So if you are an investor, you are making more money every day. I make money every day. Even when I'm not doing anything, I am making money every day. I am also aspiring every time to put more money into that investment, so that I can make more money every day. So I am making more money every day. You need to make money every day for yourself. So inflation brings about money to investors, because in the period of inflation, the price of goods and services are always going high. And the more the price of goods and services are going high, the more it creates more value to the investors to make more money. If you want more on this video, I have created videos in that section. Then number three is that to understand the use of money, you need to understand that the tax code actually benefits the investors. The tax code actually benefits the investors. Very, very simple. You see, if you are actually an investor, if you are actually into investment, the amount of money you pay as a taxpayer is reduced to the barest minimum, compared to somebody that is earning salary in a month. If you don't believe this, go and find out. So when you are an investor, you pay lesser tax. But if you are actually an employee, you pay greater tax, or you pay more tax. And that's how the system actually works in the capitalist economy. And that is why you need to understand the intricacies or the intrigues of what I call financial education. You need to understand that the economic system is actually rigged to benefit investors and entrepreneurs, irrespective of the fact that people are clamoring today that goods and services are very expensive. Entrepreneurs or producers are making more money. And when you talk about producers, you're talking about the entrepreneurs and the investors. They are making more money for themselves at the detriment of the consumers. We are all consumers. But what differentiates you, or what makes you to be wealthy than an average man on the street, is because you are actually an investor. So the economic system is actually rigged to favor or benefit the investors, and that's why you need financial education. You see, the economic system, or the capitalist system, of the free market economic system, is made up of of three classes of people: the consumers, the investors, and the business owners or the entrepreneurs. The consumers are everybody on the street. The investors are those that actually put their money into companies to generate more income or cash flow for themselves. And the business owners are the producers that are producing these goods and services. So when the business owner makes money, they share part of the profit with the investors. But what do they share with the consumer? Nothing at the end of the day. So consumers are creating more money for the investors and the entrepreneurs. And that's why you need financial education to understand these dynamics very, very well and invest your money today. If you want to actually create a generational wealth, number three things I'm going to talk about is that you need to start saving money. So if you want to create generational wealth, you need to understand that you need to start saving money. So saving money will save you a lot of things. But we're in a society today that because of the high level of inflationary rate, people do not cultivate saving culture. They don't have saving culture. In fact, most people today, they are living from one debt to another debt, and because of that, there is no money to save. But this dimension, this idea is a very, very dangerous situation, because it can take you to what we call the danger, the financial danger zone, if care is not taken, and you begin to live from one debt to another till the rest of your life. So you need to start saving some money, because when you save some money, you are developing what they call saving culture. And when you save some money, you are actually preparing for emergencies in the future, because life happens. But when life happens and there's money, you can actually solve this problem. So a lot of people today are actually in what I call financial danger zone, because they are living from one debt to another. They live on loans, they live on credit card, they live on easy buy, they live on what buy now and pay later. And when you do these things, most people don't understand. You are actually creating wealth for other people. You are creating more money for other people. And that's why I always tell people, don't take loans, don't use easy buy, don't take what I call buy now or pay later, or don't use a credit card. You can actually use a credit card, but most people, in most cases, they use the credit card to facilitate credit for themselves and thereby indebting themselves, whereby at the end of the day, they'll be paying interest to the company where they have gotten the credit card. You can actually use a credit card, but when you use the credit card, you're actually using the money. But when you're not using your money on the credit card and you're using the credit card's company, you are paying interest to the credit card company. That is the concept, that is the dynamics of how it actually operates. You need to save some money for emergency, because life actually happens. Another thing is that you need to avoid what I call reckless spending, because a lot of us, we have this insatiable urge to buy everything we see. We want to purchase this, we want to purchase that, but at the end of the day, it's actually creating holes in your pocket, and you're making other people to be rich. So avoid reckless spending. Anytime you want to spend your money, it must be for a tangible reason, just not anyhow. Do you get it now? So avoid what I call vacations, because a lot of times a lot of us want to copy or want to adopt what other people are actually doing. We want to be like them. We go on the vacation, we buy expensive things just to create the notion that we are actually rich or wealthy, or we are well to do. But at the end of the day, it doesn't work like that, because when you actually do that, you are actually creating a hole in your pockets. If you actually want to build generational wealth, or generational legacy of wealth, or you want your children to benefit from your wealth, because there are some people today that their children are actually praying for them, even when they are gone, they have died and they are not there, till today, till the next century, till the next 200 years or so, their children, their generation is still going to be enjoying the legacy of what their grandfathers have actually laid for them. And at that point in time, we can call it a generational wealth. From one generation to another becomes a legacy. So if you want to enjoy this facility, number four thing you need to do if you want to build a generational wealth is that you need to pay all your credit card debt. When I talk about credit card debt, you need to pay all your debt in a nutshell. You need to pay your easy buy, you need to pay your buy now, pay later, you need to pay your credit card debt, you need to pay all forms of debt like loans and the rest of it. You need to pay all these debts, because when you don't pay all these debts, you are creating wealth for other people. Do you get now? You are making other people to be rich when you are indebted, because you are going to be paying interest. And now that inflation is has gotten in Nigeria and other parts of the country, and you are actually doing what I call easy buy now pay later, you are going to be paying more interest. Right now, banks are charging 24 point something percent as interest rate for money borrowed. and it's actually cumulative in some cases like that. So that means that every time you'll be paying more. Then if you go to the mortgage finance institution, that some of them are charging about 12 point something percent every month for the money borrowed. So if your care is not taken, you are going to be paying about 120% interest for the money you have actually borrowed. Have you ever thought about that? Because everybody is always, propelled or compelled to take money. Once you see that money, you always want to take it, but you don't even think about the implication or the secret behind that money. When you take that money, how much are you going to pay back every month? And today, a lot of people are actually regretting themselves, and they are living in regret every day. So you need to stop that credit card or those loan facilities by paying them all, and disengaging yourself from a credit card debt or loans or buy now, pay later, or easy buy and the rest of it. Because they look so enticing, they look so attractive, but behind them they have two-edged sword. To actually pay up your debt, there are some certain things I will actually talk about before we move to the next point. For you to pay up your debt, then you need to spend less money. The lesser money you spend, the higher you can actually invest and save more money. So you spend less money. Then another thing is that number two is that you need to earn more money. You can earn more money through various ways by actually, looking for other side hustles or creating what I call a constant cash flow, or looking for another second job or doing some other things that can actually generate more money into your pocket. Something legitimate I'm talking about here. So you can actually pay up your debt, and you can now adopt a policy or a system or a monetary system of spending less money and earning more money. Do you get it now? Now, another thing, number 5, which I'm going to talk about to create what I call generational wealth, is that you must build a financial system. You must be able to build a financial system. When I talk about the financial system, it's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. It's very straightforward. Building up a financial system entails what I call saving money, investing money, and spending money. Saving, investment, and spending. Now, a lot of us are salary earners, and some of us are self-employed as well, and we get jobs or contracts outside there, and we get paid at the end of the day. So if you're a salary earner or you're actually self-employed, and when you earn this money, you don't need to spend all that money. You don't need to spend all the money. You see, money earned is not supposed to be spent. Money earned is supposed to be invested. Do you get it now? But unfortunately, we need to spend money every day. And that's why you need to create what I call a budget. You need to create what I call a budget or a financial system where you can now split your money into 3 parts. Before you start spending that money, you need to split that money into 3 parts: into investment, into savings, into spending. Now, the first thing you need to do before you start spending that money is, number 1, you need to create a formula for yourself. A formula. The formula can be 60 20 20, or you can say 70 20 10, depending on how much you are actually earning. And you must stick to this principle at the end of the day. Now, what do I mean by 60 20 or whatsoever? What we're saying there is that you're going to allocate some certain amount of money for savings, for some certain amount of money for investment, and some certain amount of money for spending. Do you get it now? Now, what do you do before you start spending that money? The first thing you need to do is to remove the money for investment first. Put it into your investment portfolio. Then number 2 thing you need to do now is to remove some part of the money for your savings as well, which is for a period of emergency. Then the third one is now you remove the remaining part of the money for your spending. That is the money now that you're going to use to take care of yourself, to take care of your family, to take care of some miscellaneous in your life. Do you get it now? Till when the month comes to an end, when you're going to get another form of money. And you must stick to this process. You must stick to this system. You must be focused. You must be disciplined. You must discipline yourself to be able to stick to this process. Do you get it now? So savings, investment, and spending. First thing you need to do: invest first, save secondly, Then thirdly, you can start spending the rest of the money till the end of the month. And for you to be able to achieve this, you must be very, very disciplined. If you also want to create what I call generational wealth, where your children, even when you're not there, they can start praying for you and they will love it in eternity for what you have actually given to them, is by, number five, investing your money. Investing your money. When you invest your money, you are creating generational legacy. You are creating generational wealth when you actually invest your money. Like I said earlier in my last point, I said you need to divide your money into three parts: into savings, investment, and then spending. Then this investment is what I'm going to talk about now. So I want you to listen attentively to what I'm going to talk about now. Now, you see, as an investor, you must understand two things. Number one is that you can either be an active investor or you can be a passive investor. I am a passive investor. I will tell you why I'm actually a passive investor. You see, when you see that somebody is actually an active investor, it means that you have, knowledge, you are versatile, you are knowledgeable, you have an idea of how the investment environment or stock system actually operate. You understand now? So you are actively involved in investment, because being actively involved in investment takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of financial education, and it takes a lot of things. And as an active investor, you can lose your money at any time, at any point in time. And also, your returns can be higher at any point in time. So you can either lose or you can or win. It's either a win or lose situation as an active investor. But a lot of us that we don't have this energy, we don't have this idea, we don't have this higher financial level of education, we opt for what we call passive investment. And when you talk about passive investment, we are talking about a situation or a system where you are not actively involved in the investment system. In other words, you are giving your investment to a second party to actually trade on your behalf, and you actually partake by sharing some part of the commission or the interest at the end of the day. And that's why I am doing what we call money market fund, where I get paid every day, 365 days in a year. I get paid even on weekends and on Sunday, because even when I'm not there, my money is working for me. To get it done, you can be part of that generational wealth and build something up for yourself at the end of the day. So you can either be an active investor or a passive investor. But I opted for a passive investor because I don't have much idea about investment on how it operates actively, because it will take a lot of things from you, and I don't have that time. And that's why I decided to go on passive investment, where I get commission at the end of the day every day, 365 days in a year. So you could be actually investing in stocks. There are so many things that you can actually invest your money in. But let me tell you something. Before you even think of investing your money, please consult your portfolio manager to give you professional advice on where you can actually invest your money. But I do money market funds and I get about 23.3% interest per annum, and I pay every day. Do you get it now? So you can actually invest in stocks, you can invest in what I call exchange trust fund, which is called ETFs. You can also invest your money in index funds. There are so many of them. So, and there are varieties of them. We have the S&P 500, we have what we call the Nasdaq, we have what we call many of them like that. So you can invest in anyone that you actually wanted at the end of the day, after seeking for professional advice. Don't forget, after seeking for professional advice. So your goal can be to do what I call a cash flow, or to do what I call a appreciation. When you say appreciation, it means that you're actually buying stocks and get what we call returns at the end of every financial year, in form of what we call a dividend. If you want more topic on that also, I have done the video. You can watch my video. So there are actually three types of assets that you can actually invest your money into. That's simply three types of assets that you can actually invest your money into. Number one, you can invest your money into what we call business. Do you get in that business? You can invest your money into what we call business. In other words, you're actually an entrepreneur. Do you get it now? You are starting with a business by yourself. You put your money into it. You make what we call feasibility studies, and you understand. Oh, this is what the problem the society actually was experiencing. I can create a solution to that problem. And what you are doing there, you are starting up a business, a startup, a business. You can also invest. You can also look into the area of stock. Do you get it? On stocks, stock exchange, your market. You can invest your money into stocks. Then you can also look into what we call real estate. Real estate. In fact, a lot of people are making money in the real estate in Nigeria now. Do you get it now? But I don't have that amount of money where I can actually buy land or buy properties and rent it out into what I call rental estate. Do you get it now? Because it's generating a lot of cash flow to a lot of people. A lot of people today, they buy most of these properties and they sublet it out, or they let it out to other people where they pay them every month or every financial year as a kind of what, as a landlord or kind of something like that. You get it now? So you can do that for yourself as well. Then another thing, which is number 7, or how you can actually create generational wealth, is that you must learn how to spend your money smartly. You must learn how to spend your money smartly. A lot of us don't spend our money smartly. And how don't we spend our money smartly? I will explain it now. You see, there are two things here that we're talking about here. Is either you choose liability or you choose a asset. Now, what's a liability? Liability is something that you have to fund over time. You have to do a lot of things over time. That's not, it takes money away from your pocket. So in other words, or in a nutshell, or in a simple term, liability is something that can take money away from your pocket. Do you get it now? When you say a liability is something that takes money away from your pocket. Then when you say asset is something that will generate what I call money for you. Do you get it now? Now your decision now is that which one are you going to take between the two of them? Are you going to take or embrace liability, or you are going to embrace what we call assets? Do you get it now? The choice is actually yours. So you need to learn how to spend your money smartly. And spending your money smartly entails that you need to understand the intricacies of liabilities and the intricacies of assets. Liabilities will create holes in your pocket, but assets will create wealth for you. And I've talked about various types of assets that you can actually invest your money into. If you want more of that video, my videos are out there. You can check out my video. I have about 500 videos that I've done so far on wealth creation. If you have been watching this video, I believe your life must have changed by now. My life is changing for better, and I want the same thing for every one of us. And that's why I'm doing this video, so that we can all benefit at the end of the day and make money for ourselves and create what we call generational wealth. You need to buy asset first before liabilities. You understand? You need to buy asset first before liability. That is, you need to invest first before buying anything. Avoid financing a liability. Avoid financing a liability. Another thing is that you need to buy things that you can actually afford, because a lot of us today, we don't buy things that we can actually afford. We like going beyond our financial capacity. In the sense, for example, maybe you have a little amount of money in your pocket, and instead of it to actually stay on where you can actually finance or fund that thing, you go beyond that point in time, and you need to go and borrow more money to actually add up to increase that thing you actually wanted to buy. But it is you are spending more at the end of the day. By spending more at the end of the day, you might not necessarily have that money to complete that transaction. For that reason, you need to go and borrow money. And when you borrow money, you pay interest at the end of the day. And when you pay interest, you are making other people to be rich, and you are also creating a hole in your pocket. And that's why we need to spend money smartly. Then that's why you need to buy things that you can actually be able to afford with your money. And by buying those things that you can actually be afford with your money, what we're saying there is that you should be able to buy things with your own cash, as against borrowing money to buy those things for yourself at the end of the day. So in other words, you should not follow the majority of what the society is actually doing. People will tell you that it's good to actually borrow money, but the money they're actually borrowing, is it for financial reasons or for businesses or to generate more money for yourself, or to actually create holes in your pocket and become a liability at the end of the day? Because a lot of people today are regretting this decision. Then you need to another point is that you need to earn more money systematically or strategically. You need to earn more money systematically or strategically. Now, what do I mean by strategically? What do I mean by strategically or systematically? You can actually increase your investment when you earn money systematically or strategically. You need to increase your investment before actually spending your money. And that's why I said earlier that once you earn your money in a month, you should be able to divide your money into spending, investment, and the savings. Investment is the number one, that is the most important among them. The number two one is what is your savings. The number three can actually be your spending. So what we're saying there is that before you start spending that money, invest your money first. Invest more and actually save more. And don't forget that it's actually a decade of sacrifice. And for you to be able to achieve, to earn more money, strategically or systematically, you need to read more books. You can actually ask for more raise in your office. That is, they should increase your salary. You can take on a second job. A lot of us are doing a second job. I know of guys today that are doing two jobs in Lagos. You understand now? Some of them are security men, and they do one day on, one day off. When they leave this place, they go and work in another place, and they are earning money. They are making money for themselves. And apart from the fact that you are making money for yourselves, are you actually investing the money? There's a difference between making more money for yourself and investing that money you are making for yourself. So are you making more money and investing more money, or you are making more money and spending money recklessly or extravagantly? The choice will actually be yours. You need to decide today. So you can take a second job. You can get a new career change by going to other courses that can actually elevate your status and earn you more promotion, or get another job, or you can change your career in the career industry, you understand? And you can also start a business. Like some people I know that whenever they come back from work, they go and open the second shop that they have. They will go to the work in the morning, then when they are coming back in the evening, they'll go and open their shop, and they're making money for themselves, creating what I call a constant cash flow or passive income for themselves. Because this country does not allow for laziness. That is capitalism. It doesn't allow for laziness. You need to think and act. Do you get it now? And for you to be able to think and act, you need financial education and invest your money wisely. I believe you are actually gaining a lot from this video. If you have actually gained a lot from this video today, please subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to leave your comment on how I can actually serve you better. And don't forget to click on that notification button to get it done. Share my video to the outside world, because we are here to make a positive impact in our life, and also to build generational wealth for ourselves and for our children get to the born. You can live a life that is devoid of worrying about money. That is a life where you can live a decent life without having to bother about money, because money is already working for you. Money is already growing for you. And the best way which you can actually guarantee this is when you actually invest your money, as against spending your money. That hard-earned money that actually got in should not be spent anyhow. Invest the money first, save some part of that money, and you can now spend the remaining part of the money. Don't forget that life actually happens. You need to be prepared for emergency by saving money. When you save money for emergency and life happens in the future, you can be able to guide against those things and recover yourself more quickly. So if you have actually gained something from this video, please subscribe to my channel now. So I see you next time. Thank you, and God bless you.